Testing audio, testing movement. Testing audio, testing movement. Alright, it's looking good. Hello everyone, this is Gundam Ace, aka John Hooper. I'm here with my streaming of Rebellion Secret Game 2nd Stage. When we last left off, we focused on Shuhei as he teamed up with several of the other players, but like Kotomi, Mariko, Daisuke, and Hatsune, but because Mariko and Daisuke didn't get along, Daisuke and Hatsune ended up leaving the group, and Shuhei, Kotomi, and Mariko were attacked by a crossbow archer in the near wheat field, and Kotomi got injured, so Mariko got a little, but they ran away last time we saw them. We also learned a few of the characters' player numbers and special conditions and special functions last time as well, so that brings Shuhei closer to knowing who he has to team up with and get out in order to clear the game. But yeah, that's where we're gonna pick up. Just 1 second. Alright, here we go.
痛みはどうだ?
How's the pain?
ヒリヒリ3割、ズキズキが7割かな。
I'd say it's 30% stinging and 70% throbbing.
いや、そういうのじゃなくて、さっきより痛くなったとか、そういうのは。
No, not that. It means it hurting as much as it was earlier?
動いてなければ痛みは感じないよ。血も止まったみたいだし、もう大丈夫。
No, it doesn't hurt if I move it. It looks like it stopped bleeding too, so I'm okay.
そうか。よかった。
I see. That's a relief. After escaping from the wheat field, the team had luckily found a farming shed fairly close by. It was just a few minutes ago, after they'd wrapped Kotomi's leg up in bandages, that they were finally able to relax. But they'd only managed to stop the bleeding. They weren't out of the woods just yet. They need to find water and medicine to disinfect the wounds.
ひとまず水を確保してくるよ。
I'll go find some water.
まだ危ないんじゃないかな。
Isn't it still dangerous out there?
大丈夫。相手は追ってこなかったみたいだ。
We're fine. It doesn't look like we were followed. Of course, it was possible they were lying in ambush. Still, they couldn't keep themselves holed up the entire time. Otherwise, nothing would change.
とにかく水と食料を優先して、暗くなったら村に消毒薬を取りに行こう。
Anyway, food and water come first. Then I'll go to the village once night falls to pick up some medicine.
シュウちゃん、ごめんね。
Shoo, sorry about this.
謝るな。お前は間違ったことはしちゃいないよ。
You haven't done anything wrong. No need to apologize.
だけど頼むから。もう少しだけ自分のことを大切にしてくれ。
Promise me something. Please value yourself a little more.
もうあんな無茶はしないって。俺に誓ってくれ。
Swear to me you won't do anything so reckless ever again.
そうでないと。俺は。
If you weren't around, I'd...
シュウちゃん。
Kotomi reached her hands out and wrapped them gently around Shuhei's own.
どうしてシュウちゃんは私のことをそんなに大切に思ってくれるの？
Why do you care so much about me? Huh?
ああ、そうだな。
Oh, well... Shuhei humped quietly as Kotomi looked at him with upturned eyes.
友達で 幼馴染だからだろ。
Because you've been my best friend since we were kids, I guess?
それだけ？
Is that it? A questioning look appeared on Kotomi's face. Shuhei brought his hand to his chin after thinking about the matter for a while.
じゃあもう一つ。大切なも追加だ。
Fine. I'll add precious as well.
まあ、とりあえずそれでいいや。
Well, I'll settle with that for now.
とりあえずってなんだろ
What do you mean by for now? Kotomi just gave a light smile to Shuhei's question. Shuhei let out a sigh of impressed exasperation when he saw his precious childhood friend that way, and stood up.
う。それじゃ行ってくるよ。
Okay, I'm going.
しゅうちゃん、ありがとうね。
Thanks.
気にすんなよ。
Don't worry about it. Kotomi smiled as Shuhei gave her a light wave. Finally resolving himself to get moving, Shuhei left the shed. When he went out, Shuhei found Mariko waiting for him, her face full of depression.
少しは落ち着いたか。
Have you calmed down a little?
おかげさまで。
Yes, thanks to you.
ことみさんの様子はどう？
How's Kotomi doing?
大丈夫だ。出血してた割に傷自体は浅かった。
She's fine. Despite all the bleeding, the wound isn't all that deep.
傷跡もほとんど残らないと思う。
I don't think it'll leave much of a scar. Good. Right after she said that, Mariko's lips curved into a straight line as she wrapped her arms around herself and hung her head. There was a lot Shuhei wanted to say, but he swallowed the words that threatened to emerge from his throat. Surely Mariko needed time to sort out her feelings. As that thought ran by Shuhei's head, Mariko spoke up.
さあ、何か言ってた？私のこととか。
Did she say anything about me?
いや、特には。
No, nothing really.
そう、
I see.
私どうしたら償えるのかしら。
How can I make up for this?
あまり自分を責めない方がいい。
You shouldn't blame yourself so much.
琴美が見境なく他人を助けようとするのは、あいつの悪癖みたいなもんだ。昔からそうだった。
Kotomi's always had a bad habit of sorts of helping others out, no matter who they are.
誰にだって状況が見えなくなることはあるし、そのせいで取り乱すこともある。
Kotomi's always had a bad habit of wait, oh sorry. Okay. This happens. Everyone's had times where they lose sight of what's around them and panicked as a result.
だけど私、いつも偉そうなこと言っておいて、いざとなったらみんなの足手まといで。
But I always talk so high and mighty, yet I became a total deadweight when it really mattered.
そうだな。確かに命乞いをしても相手は助けてくれない。
You're right about that. No one's going to help us even if we beg for our lives.
俺たちは拉致されてきて、首輪をつけられて、どうしようもなく理不尽なゲームに放り込まれて。
We were grabbed, had collars thrown around us, and were thrown into this unjust game.
頼れるのは自分の力と仲間だけだ。
All we can rely on is ourselves and our teammates.
マリコさん、俺たちの協力し合う目的ってなんだ？
Mariko, exactly why is it that we're all working together?
それはゲームのクリア。
To Clear the game?
その通り。俺たちはクリアする確率を上げるためにチームを組んでいるんだ。
Exactly. We form teams to give ourselves a better chance of clearing the game.
マリコさんは俺たちの仲間だから見捨てたりするつもりはないよ。
You're our teammate, so we have no intention of abandoning you.
もしもマリコさんが心配してるのがそういうことならそれが答えだ。
If that's what you're worried about, there's your answer.
その代わりと言ったらなんだけどマリコさんも俺たちに力を貸してくれ。
In exchange, you help us out too.
俺は今から琴美の傷口を洗う水のためにキューブを探しにやってくる。
I'm about to go look for a cube so we can get some water to wash Kotomi's wound.
だったら私も。
Then I'll come with...
いや、その間マリコさんには動けない琴美を守ってほしい。
No, I want you to stay here and guard Kotomi.
そうね。分かったわ。
Oh, I see. Sure, got it.
今度は大丈夫。必ず守ってみせるから。
I won't screw up this time. I swear I'll keep her safe.
頼りにしてるよ。
I'm counting on you. As he walked away, Shuhei heard a faint thank you. After one got a grasp on the kind of places cubes tend to be located, finding them proved to be rather easy. It only took Shuhei 20 minutes to find one. By the time Shuhei finished digging up the spot where the memory chip and the cube had indicated, the last glimpses of sunlight were beginning to sputter out. With his hands dyed red in the dying sunlight, Shuhei opened the 2.5-liter aluminum can.
ようやくか。
I suppose it was only a matter of time. Shuhei sighed as he saw it inside. There would be players who take the initiative in this game by attacking other players. Whether it was for their clear condition or other reasons altogether was another matter. Regardless, Shuhei knew from experience that there were players like that out there. They pulled off a miraculous escape last time, but things likely wouldn't go so well next time. Which is why Shuhei had been waiting for this to show up.
こいつだ。琴美を守ってみせる。
If this, I'll keep everyone. Keep Kotomi safe. Shuhei reached into the box and took it out. A profound weight sunk into his hand. On one hand, the sensation of its polymer frame was just like a toy's, enough to make one doubt its authenticity. But the odds of it being a fake were all but none in a game like this. A large object that could fire .45 caliber rounds, the clutch of its grip didn't even settle into a man's hand. Capable of functioning perfectly, even in unfavorable conditions, it was perfect for this game. All that remained was where Shuhei had the resolve to use it.
よし。
Alright. Shuhei got up and pointed the object in his hand at a nearby tree. The firearm, made by H&K, was an automatic with a large and highly efficient gun barrel. Praised for its match-grade accuracy, this offensive pistol had passed many tests to finally be adopted for use by the United States Special Operations Command. Part of the tree trunk burst open, and the air was filled with the stench of gunpowder smoke. H&K Mark 23. Known in Japan as a SOCOM, and Shuhei's newfound power. One second. Okay, back. Alright, here we go. After that, Shuhei took the food and water back to Konami and Mariko and had dinner with them. Mariko regained much of her former energy. Apparently, she and Konami had a talk while waiting for Shuhei. She'd been eager to take the night watch to redeem herself, but they'd all decided against it, feeling it was too dangerous. In exchange, she'd agreed to take the watch while Shuhei went out to the village to get medicine. That had been about 20 minutes ago. Around here, maybe? Shuhei returned to the wheat field. With the sun now fully set, he relied on the moonlight and stars to guide him. He was looking for the spot where they'd been attacked. He needed to know who'd fired at them and why. Oh, here it is. Shuhei found an arrow gleaming in the moonlight and used it as a starting point. He had a few theories regarding why they'd been attacked. Guess I'll go check around the wheat then. Just before the attack... Sorry, 1 second. Alright, just before the attack, Shuhei received an email telling him not to head in this direction. It appeared to have been sent to warn Shuhei and his team of the danger and to keep them away from the field. Meaning it was possible their assailant was still in the area. But it wasn't bright enough at the moment for someone to attack from afar. Furthermore, now that Shuhei had a weapon, he was confident he could fend off an assailant. 20 minutes after he started searching, Shuhei tripped over something.
なんだ
Ow. What is this? Surprised by the unexpected obstacle, Shuhei turned around. Lying in the middle of the wheat field was an opened cube. Its contents had already been taken.
これが犯人の目的
Was this the attacker's goal?
メモリーチップを集めるとかそういうクリア条件を持ったプレイヤーだったのか
Did they have a clear condition related to gathering memory chips? If so, then it made sense why they were attacked. Though it was somewhat doubtful they go that far in an attempt to take it. Then again, perhaps it was the right decision when considering the idea that they wanted to gather as many memory chips as possible before they grew scarce. Even Shuhei, who didn't have a clear condition concerning memory chips, felt the same way.
後半になればプレイヤー同士でキューブの奪い合いが始まる可能性が高いな
There's a high possibility that players will start taking cues from each other later in the game. Without securing supplies and weapons early on, they have to participate in that quarrel. It was necessary to consider countermeasures to securing memory chips sooner rather than later. After going through the wheat field, Shuhei went to the village's clinic to obtain disinfectant for Kotomi's leg. It felt like something could pop out at any second of the shroud of night over the abandoned village, but it wasn't enough to scare Shuhei. Startled by the noise of a mouse or something running by, he searched the shelves he checked earlier and took the peroxide bottle.
使用期限が切れてないな
The expiration date hasn't passed. Though the village was old and run down, the medicine bottles were surprisingly recent. The administrators had likely supplied the medicine as items for the game. Shuhei pocketed the bottle and left the clinic. As he headed back, he noticed a familiar face in the village plaza.
大輔
ああ周平か
Oh, Shuhei, it's you! Daisuke's face brightened up when he heard Shuhei's voice. He quickly ran over to his former teammate.
よかったお前は約束を覚えててくれたんだな
Thank God, you remembered our promise.
ああ
Yeah. Now that he mentioned it, Shuhei recalled that he had indeed promised Daisuke when they split up that they'd rendezvous in the village after sunset. But he'd completely forgotten about it in the chaos of the wheat field attack. Not that he'd ever told Daisuke that, of course.
俺が来るのをずっと待ってたみたいだけど何かあったの
Looks like you've been waiting for me for a while now. Something happened? Daisuke averted his gaze, mumbling something under his breath. But soon enough, he resolved himself and looked right back at Shuhei with a serious expression.
初音にやられたんだよ
Hatsune got me good.
初音そういえばお前ら一緒じゃないのか
Hatsune? Come to think of it, isn't she with you?
一緒なわけねえよ
Like hell.
あいつ俺が目を離した隙にメモリーチップを全部持ち逃げしやがった
One second I took my eyes off her, the next, she took off all our memory chips.
なんだって
What? Shuhei couldn't believe what he was hearing. He couldn't picture the same girl who didn't look like she could kill a fly stealing memory chips and running off.
さすが芸能界で揉まれただけのことはあるっつうか。俺もすっかりあいつの演技に騙されてたぜ。
Well, that's just a performer there for you. I completely fell for her act.
周平たちと別れた後、俺たちもメモリーチップの重要性に気がついたんだ。
After we left you guys, we realized just how important the memory chips were.
このゲームは序盤でメモリーチップを集めたやつが圧倒的に有利なシステムだ。
The game's set up so that people who gather chips early on are an overwhelming advantage.
それに気がついた途端、このざまさ。マジ可愛い顔してやることはえぐいぜ。くそ！
And once we realized that, shit hit the fan. She's got a cute face, but a black heart. Damn it!
まさか初音がそんなこと信じられないな。
I can't believe it. I never took Hatsune for that kind of person. Hatsune hadn't seemed at all the kind of person to betray others. But as long as she wasn't there, Shuhei had no way of verifying the truth of the matter.
それでお前はこれからどうするつもりなんだ？
So what are you gonna do now?
ひとまず今夜だけお前らのところへ置いてくれないか。
Well, I was thinking of staying with you guys again just for the night. Is that okay?
ああ、別にそれは構わないが。
Sure, I don't really mind.
悪いな。こっちから別行動を提案したのにこんなことになっちまって。
Thanks. I never thought things would end up this way, considering I was the one who suggested we split up and all.
でもほんと助かるぜ。やっぱ持つべきものは友だな。
But I really owe you one. See, this is what buddies are for. Daisuke smiled and slapped Shuhei on the shoulder a few times. Shuhei just sighed at Daisuke's buddy-buddy attitude. It was like the gloom that permeated the air just moments ago never existed. Huh? Ito?
Yo.
Hey. When she saw Shuhei return with Daisuke in tow, Mariko, who had been leisurely sitting on the ground, jolted to her feet. She walked up to Daisuke with a serious expression and looked his face over.
なんだよ。
What?
無事だったのね。よかった。
Thank goodness you're all right.
Huh?
What?
心配してたのよ。誰かに襲われて怪我してないかとか。
I was so worried that someone might have attacked you or something.
おう。それはどうも。
Oh, I see. Well, thanks. Daisuke backed up, overwhelmed by Mariko's sincere concern. Given the large rift between them, it wasn't surprising he was so taken aback by such genuine consideration from Mariko.
それでどうして伊藤君がここに？
So why is Ito here?
初音に裏切られてメモリーチップを持ち逃げされたらしい。
Apparently, Hatsune betrayed him and ran off with all their memory chips.
初音さんが本当に？
Huh? Hatsune did something like that? Really?
ああ、俺も信じられない。
Yeah, I can't believe it either.
初音さんが
No way. But she was such a sweet girl. Mariko covered her mouth and shook her head as if trying to drive out the image of Hatsune stealing.
初音ちゃんがどうしたの？
What happened with Hatsune? Kotomi, lured by the commotion from outside, limped out of the shed.
琴美、立って歩いて大丈夫なのか？
Kotomi, are you sure you're okay to walk?
もう大丈夫。それよりも今の話。
Yeah, I'm okay. Anyway, I heard your conversation just now.
初音ちゃんが裏切るなんて私はちょっと信じられないよ。
It's just so hard to believe that Hatsune would betray someone.
君を疑うわけじゃないけど、初音ちゃんは平然と仲間を裏切れるような子じゃないよ。
I'm not doubting Daisuke or anything, but Hasane didn't seem like the kind of girl who could stab someone in the back without remorse.
何か事情があって、そうせざるを得なかったんじゃないかな。
I think she must have had some kind of reason.
そうよね。あの子がそんなことをする姿、想像できないもの。
You're right. I can't picture her doing something like that.
おいおい待ってくれよ。俺が嘘を言ってるとでも？
Whoa now, hold your horses. You calling me a liar?
そうは言ってないよ。初音ちゃんにも何か人に言えない事情があったんじゃないかって。
No, of course not. I'm saying Hasane might have had some reason she couldn't tell anyone.
だからって黙ってメモリーチップを持ち出していい理由にはならねえぞ。
So what? You're saying that makes it okay for her to run off with memory chips without a word?
そうだね。それは許されることじゃない。
No, you're right. That's not an excuse.
だけど本当のことがわかるまでは初音ちゃんを悪者にしないであげてほしいの。
But I don't want to paint Hasane as a bad guy until we have the full story.
はいはい、わかりましたよ。
Fine, okay, I get it.
たく、どいつもこいつもお人よしばっかだな。
Sheesh. You people are way too soft for your own good, you know that? Daisuke smiled and shrugged as he muttered with exasperation. The rest of the group looked at each other and smiled wryly in agreement with Daisuke's words. Shuhei gazed up at the starry sky. He wasn't particularly looking at the stars up there. Nor was he admiring the beautiful round circle that was the moon. He just didn't have anything else to do. Though he was the one who'd advocated the importance of having a watch, now that he was doing it, he found it surprisingly dull. At first, he tinkered with his newfound gun, but quickly grew bored of it, and so he stared up pointlessly at the stars. He wasn't tracing the paths of the stars or moon, it was more like he was staring at a painting. There was no greater meaning to it. He was simply enjoying the depths of the sky. To put in exaggerated terms, Shuhei was staring into the vastness of space. Just then, a voice brought him back from those depths.
しゅうちゃん、
琴美、起きてたのか？
Kotomi, you're still up?
なんだか眠れなくて。隣に座っていい？
Yeah, I couldn't sleep. Can I sit next to you?
どうぞ、お構いなく。
By all means, go ahead. Kotomi giggled at Shuhei's response and sat down while offering thanks.
なんか大変なことになっちゃったね。
Things sure are crazy here, huh?
そうだな。
You can say that again.
昨日まで普通の生活をしてたのに、今はこんなところにいるなんて全然信じられないよ。
We were living normal lives just a day ago, and here we are in this game. It's unbelievable.
寝て起きたら全部夢で、実は自分のベッドにいるんじゃないかなって思っちゃうの。
Part of me still thinks that when I wake up, I'll find myself in my bed and realize it was all just a wild dream.
俺さ、最近ちょっと寝不足だったんだ。
I haven't slept well recently.
だけど、こんな長い夢を見るくらい寝てたら絶対に解消してるな。
I highly doubt that could mean I'd have a dream as long as this to compensate. Yeah.
でもこんな怖い夢の中でもしゅうちゃんが一緒にいてくれてよかった。
But I'm glad you're still with me, even in this nightmare.
もし一人きりだったら私きっと耐えられない。
If I were all alone, I'm sure I'd have lost it by now.
だけどこれは現実。明日の朝になっても目覚めるのは深い森の中。
But this is for real. All I'll see when I wake up tomorrow is this deep forest.
現実逃避って言葉よくできてるよね。本当にこんな現実逃げ出してしまいたいもん。
The word escapism sure is rather thoughtful. Escaping is exactly what I want to do.
でも戦わなくちゃいけない。
But we've got to fight.
現実から目をそらして逃げ出した先に楽園なんてないもの。
There is no paradise that awaits us for turning our backs on reality and running away.
ああ、嫌だ嫌だ。
Not good at all. Huh?
俺は平和主義者なんだ。停戦を要求する。
I'm a pacifist. I demand a ceasefire.
絶対認めてくれないよ。現実さんは戦争が大好きだからね。
That's never gonna fly. Reality loves war.
現実さん、理不尽すぎんだろ。
Because reality isn't just.
宣戦布告なんてしてくれないもんね。
Yep. You can't declare war against it. Reality had struck Shuhei and the others like a bolt out of the blue. It swept them up in the muddy stream and swallowed them as pawns in a game of chess. There were those who couldn't weather the stream, were falling behind. There were also those like Tsukasa who immediately adapted and tried to face it head on. As for Shuhei,
俺はついていけてるのかな。
I wonder if I'm keeping up pace. Though he was aware he was adapting fairly well, he couldn't deny he felt like he'd fallen behind on some aspects. But it seemed Kotomi thought differently.
私はしゅうちゃんが一緒だったら戦えるよ。
The only reason I can fight is because you're here with me.
そうかな。
Really?
そうだよ。一人なら不安でいっぱいだけど、二人なら大丈夫。
Really? I'd be freaking out if I were all alone, but with you, I'm okay.
昔からそうだったじゃない。ほら、覚えてない？
That's the way it's always been with us. Don't you remember?
子供の頃、二人でこんな感じで空を見上げながら同じ風に。
We looked up at the stars like this once, back when we were kids. On that day, Shuhei gazed up at the night sky just like this. He wasn't particularly looking at the clouds drifting by without a care in the world. Nor was he admiring the pale glow that was the moon. He just didn't have anything else to do. He didn't want to go back to the orphanage. All that awaited him there were kids who'd lost their homes and adults with menial smiles. The person he wanted to be with more than anything wasn't there. His family wasn't there. He didn't belong there. So as a kid, Shuhei would frequently sneak out of the orphanage, go to the park, and gaze pointlessly up at the stars. Shuhei's mother had passed away of heart failure when he was still young. His father was also no longer of this world due to certain reasons. was for those reasons why his relatives had dumped him in an orphanage, and why everyone ostracized him. Shuhei no longer had anyone or place to go back to. Even as a kid, he'd been well aware of that. However, regardless, he rejected reality and was looking for the world his family was in. In hindsight, Shuhei realized he was just being stubborn. Or perhaps he wanted to rebel against reality so he didn't have to cry and give in. Whatever the case, it was just the useless resistance of a typically immature and powerless child. No matter how hard he tried, his wish would never be granted. Shuhei gazed up at the starry sky. With nowhere to go and nothing to do, he just kept staring off into the bottomless abyss. It was at that moment a girl showed up. A young girl who dabbled at Shuhei when he happened to cross her at the park a month earlier. Shuhei remembered that her name was Kotomi. He didn't remember her last name. Maybe he never even asked for it to begin with. For some reason, she didn't talk to him like she normally did. Instead, she just sat down next to Shuhei and looked up at the stars with him as though it were second nature. Neither of them said a word. Shuhei hadn't even planned to talk to her to begin with. Instead, they just sat shoulder to shoulder and looked at the brilliant canopy of stars above. Nothing more and nothing less.
今思うとさ、お前あの公園で何やってたんだよ。
You know, now that I think about it, what were you doing in that park anyway?
現実さんと戦ってたんだよ。
Having a fight with reality.
あ、そうだな。
Oh, I see. Though it sounded like an apathetic response, Shuhei's words were brimming with strength. It was his way of expressing gratitude for Kotomi back then, and his trust for the Kotomi of now.
負けるわけにはいかないよな。今度は命がけの戦争だ。
We can't afford to lose. This time, we're waging war of our lives on the line.
そうだね。
Yeah, you're right.
でもごめんね、しゅうちゃん。
But I'm sorry, Shu. About what?
私、しゅうちゃんの力になれなかったら。
I'm sorry I couldn't help you out.
いや、意味がわからないんだけど。
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Shuhei shook his head, bewildered by his sudden apology.
私、怪我しちゃってるから。
I'm talking about my injury.
しゅうちゃんの力になれないかもしれない。
I might not be able to help you because of that.
どうしてため息つくの？私真剣な話してるのに。
What's with that sigh? I'm being totally serious here.
だってあの時のことみは俺に何かしてくれたのか？
Well, I mean, what did you do for me that day?
例えば金や食べ物を恵んでくれたりしたか？
For example, did you give me did you give me money or food or something?
それはしてないけど。
Well, no.
だろ？あの時のお前がしたのはそんなことじゃないんだよ。
Right? That's not what you did for me. Back when Shuhei rejected everything, Kotomi did one thing and one thing alone.
お前は俺のそばにいてくれただけだ。
You just stayed by my side.
黙って何も言わずに。だけどずっと一緒にいてくれた。
You didn't say a word, but you stayed with me the whole time.
俺の隣に座って一緒に空を眺めてくれたんだよ。今みたいに。
You sat down next to me and looked up at the stars with me. Just like now.
それだけで俺は戦うことができたんだ。
So all thanks to that I can fight. Shuhei took Kotomi's small, smooth hand into his own. It was warm and trembling slightly. Shuhei grasped her hand firmly as if to quell those shivers.
だから今回もただ一緒にいてくれるだけでいい。
So just like back then, all you have to do this time is stay with me.
俺の隣で一緒の景色を見てくれればいい。
Seeing what I see is more than enough.
琴美が一緒にいてくれれば俺は琴美のために頑張れるから。
If you stay with me, then I'll fight for you.
しゅうちゃん。
一緒にいてくれるだろう。
You'll stay with me, right? Shuhei lowered his head slightly, then looked Kotomi in the eye. She bashfully cast her head down and turned away. Kotomi couldn't see Shuhei's face, but she gave a slight nod without looking up. Her hair swaying with her.
私でよければ。
If you don't mind,
私なんかでよければ。ずっとずっとしゅうちゃんといるよ。
if you're okay with someone like me, then I'll always stay with you. No matter what.
ああ、約束だぞ。
Yeah, it's a promise. Shuhei gently wrapped his arm around Kotomi's shivering shoulders. The two huddled as their shadows grew longer. Shuhei had a dream. A dream of the time his mother passed away. No, perhaps that wasn't the right way to put it. Back then, Shuhei had turned his back on reality and refused to accept that, and thus rejected acknowledging that phenomenon. So to be more accurate, it was the day that his mother never woke up again. And it started as an ordinary day. Like always, Shuhei went to bed at 9 p.m. and woke up at 7 a.m. His mother always went to sleep later than him and got up earlier than him. Yet for some reason, she didn't wake up that day. Shuhei shook her body, trying to wake her up. His little sister was crying of hunger. Wake up. Come on, Mom. Wake up. However, even then his mother didn't wake up. She simply lay there peacefully, eyes shut and completely unaware of Shuhei. Even by noon, she still hadn't woken up. It was then that Shuhei, who had been quietly reading a book nearby, began to realize something wasn't right. But even so, at his age, all Shuhei could do was keep shaking her body. You're a big brother now, so you have to be strong, okay? I won't always be there for the two of you, after all. His mother always used to tell him that. The wails of a young child echoed through the small room. But Shuhei didn't know how to stop her from crying. Dismayed, he just sought help from his mother. Hey, Mom, wake up. What's wrong? Do you have another fever? Do you need medicine? I'll bring some water. Shuhei knew that his mother was prone to high fevers that kept her in bed from time to time. He even knew where the shelf where she kept those white pills she took every day was. He also learned how to bring her a cup of water without spilling it. You're such a smart boy, Shuhei. You'll make a wonderful doctor someday. His mother would always look proudly at him as he held out the cup and gently rustle his hair. And yet... Hey, Mom, wake up. Wake up already. Even then, she didn't wake up. I know. Remembering something his mother had told him, Shuhei frantically darted to the phone. If anything happens to me, Shuhei, call this number. Three numbers his mother had written especially big for Shuhei were there on the notepad next to the receiver. Shuhei picked up the phone and dialed those numbers, not knowing what they meant. Everything after that words happened so fast. Once Shuhei's relative finished up the formalities, their furniture was taken away and they were vacated from their apartment. A simple funeral for family only was held, and his mother's ashes were laid to rest under a grave. Shuhei's mother and her children had always been shunned by their relatives. So she had been lucky enough to even get a funeral. However, none of them wanted to take Shuhei and his sister in. So it was all but inevitable that they left Shuhei in an orphanage. He wasn't bitter. He wasn't sad. He was just confused and scared for being sent to some place he barely knew. Back then, there had been another hand holding his own. But eventually, Shuhei chose to let go of that hand. As a result, he was left isolated in the orphanage. Day 2. Just then, Shuhei woke up. The light coming from the windows was blinding. It marked the start of the game's second day. Shuhei checked the time on his PDA. It was 6:30 a.m. Humans have a sad tendency to wake up according to their habitual biological rhythms, even in times like these. It's cold. Nights were fine at this time of year, but the cold of dawn was brutal. They need to think of a way to keep warm if they end up having to sleep without blankets tonight as well.
それに食料の問題も考えないと。
Besides, I feel I consider the food situation as well. Yesterday, they ate hardtacks, canned food, and emergency rice rations, so while there was enough variety, the portions were criminally small. In terms of calories, it probably didn't even reach 4 digits. Considering an adult was supposed to have 2,000 calories a day, the group clearly wasn't getting enough food. They were probably drinking a lot less water than standard, too.
仮に理想の摂取量を満たそうと思うなら、全員が1日に最低でも2箱見つけなきゃいけないのか。
Even if we tried to reach the ideal calorie intake, would that mean everyone would have to find at least 2 boxes a day? In other words, that meant 28 boxes would be used up in one day. While they didn't know how many cubes were out there, it was highly unlikely other players would share theirs. Judging from yesterday's attack, Shuhei couldn't imagine anyone being in a particularly cooperative mood.
メモリーチップの確保を考えておくか。
Cooperative mood. Guess we should focus on securing memory chips. So to prepare for that sort of situation, they need to secure multiple memory chips and bury them somewhere to start stockpiling on them. At the present, they only search for as little cubes as necessary, but they need to set about 3 hours a day aside to secure cubes, given the situation. Well, whatever the case, I'll bring it up with the others. It's with that thought that Shuhei rose to his feet.
おい周平、琴美ちゃん。
Hey, Shuhei, Kotomi. Daisuke came scrambling into the shed.
どうしたんだ朝から。
Shouting first thing in the morning? What's wrong?
いや、どうしたもこうしたもねえよ。
Got a big problem, guys.
マリコがいなくなったんだ。
Mariko's gone.
は
What? Shuhei's jaw dropped. Kotomi, who had woken up from the commotion, was just as shocked.
マリコさんがいなくなったってなんで？
Mariko's gone? But why?
いや、なんつうか、俺も今さっき起きたんだけど、あいつの姿が消えててさ。
I don't know. When I woke up a few minutes ago, she was already gone.
周りを探したんだけど見つからなくて。
I looked around, but I couldn't find her.
本当にいないのか。トイレに行っているとかじゃなくて。
You sure she's really gone? She might have just gone to the bathroom.
もう20分くらいは探してるんだ。トイレだったらとっくに戻ってきてるだろ。
I've already been searching for about 20 minutes. If that were it, if she were just taking care of business, she'd be back by now.
マリコさんはどうして。
Why would Mariko leave? It was all so sudden and hard to believe. Mariko's clear condition was to spend no more than 3 hours separated from her designated partner. Meaning that she likely wouldn't leave the team even if they tried to force her out. She just clings to them harder.
だけどやっぱりあの時の失態を気にしてたのか。
But maybe she felt too guilty about yesterday's blunder? She had indeed displayed deep regret for yesterday's attack. But it looked like she'd gotten over it by the end of the day. It hadn't seemed like she was still bothered by it, and yet...
あいつ、人に偉そうなこと言っておいて、結局はこれかよ。
She always talks so high and mighty to other people, yet this is the result. Huh?
琴美ちゃんも切れていいと思うぜ。話を聞いた限りじゃ、その足はあいつにやられたようなもんだろ。
It's okay for you to be mad too, Kotomi. From what I heard, it's her fault your leg got hurt, right?
なのに、立場が悪くなったからって逃げ出しやがって。マジで何様だっつうの。
And she goes running off when she starts to look like the bad guy. Just who the hell does she think she is?
大輔君。
それぐらいにしておけ、大輔。マリコさんが逃げ出したと決まったわけじゃない。
Leave that at that, Daisuke. You can't be sure Mariko ran away.
だけどこの状況だぜ。他に何の理由があるって言うんだ。
But given the situation, what other reason could she possibly have?
きっとマリコさんにはマリコさんなりの理由があるんだよ。
I'm sure Mariko had her reasons.
なあ、琴美ちゃん。人がいいのも行き過ぎると損するぜ。
Hey, Kotomi. Sometimes being too trusting can backfire, you get me?
とにかくもう少しだけマリコさんを探してみよう。ここで議論していても本当のところはわからないからな。
Anyway, let's look for Mariko a little while longer. Arguing about it isn't going to get us any closer to the truth.
なんだよ、周平まで。ちょっとお人よしが過ぎるんじゃねえのか？
You too, Shuhei? You people really are too soft, you know that?
大輔。
はいはい、わかったよ。じゃあ、あと30分だけな。
Fine, I get it. Another half hour then.
琴美もそれでいいな。
Is that good with you, Kotomi? Yeah,
よし。じゃあ行こう。
good. Then let's go. The team gathered their belongings and left the shed. The dawning light of the second day was painfully blinding. Mariko Ueno ran through the woods, panting for air. She was carrying 2 aluminum cans. They were food she managed to procure after looking around the deep thicket at the crack of dawn. Even though she was a burden, Shuhei and Kotomi had still called her part of the team. So she wanted to repay them in any way she could. This was her first step towards that, a way of declaring she was doing all she could to atone for her dishonor. She wanted to prove she was making an effort to change not through thoughts or lip service, but through actions. For both her own sake and her teammates who trusted her. By delivering these rations, she'd be reborn and make a brand new start from there. Just like the breaking of dawn. Thus, Mariko decided that as soon as she got back, the first thing she'd do was greet the whole team. It was the perfect opportunity. Waking her sleeping teammates with a hearty shout would be best. Mariko panicked as she stood in front of the shed door, trying to quell both her starving lungs and her raging heart. However, she ended up taking a deep breath, unable to wait for them to calm. She then grabbed the handle tight and shouted as she opened with all her might.
Ohayo, minna!
Morning, guys! But her greeting was only absorbed into an empty room. Huh? For a moment, Mariko couldn't process what she was seeing. Why wasn't anyone looking at her with surprise? Why wasn't anyone greeting her back? Guys? No one was there. The shed where her teammates were supposed to be was empty. Mariko wondered where they could have gone.
襲われた。
Oh no, are they attacked again? That was her first thought, but it didn't appear to be the case. If they had been, then there'd be traces of a battle. Then what else could it be?
もしかして私何を置いていかれた。
Did everyone leave me behind? At that moment, all strength left Mariko's legs, and she slumped to the floor. The aluminum cans fell out of her hands and landed on the ground with a clack. When the team had woken up, they had found Mariko gone. They'd probably assumed Mariko had left all on her own. Their teammate who'd brought them nothing but trouble had left them. That was the most logical conclusion.
私やっちゃっ
Did I do it again?
た。そもそも誰かのために頑張ろうとすればするほど空回りばっかり。
It's always like this. The harder I try for others, the more I'm just spinning my wheels.
迷惑をかけてばかり。
All I ever do is cause trouble for others. Just then, Mariko looked over her PDA lying at her feet. It must have fallen out of her jacket pocket when she slumped to the floor. Just then, Mariko remembered something important. Don't spend more than 3 hours separated from your designated partner. That was her clear condition.
私最後に琴美さんと離れてからどれくらいだっけ。
How long has it been since I was last with Koumi? How much time did she have left? She didn't know the exact time, but since she'd gone out at the crack of dawn, it had to have been at least over 2 hours. So if she had to guess, she had 30 minutes or so until she failed her clear condition. And then her collar would detonate.
そうどうすれば。
No! What do I do? Try and find your teammates? But I don't know where they are. Search for other players? No, there's practically no chance I'll run into any other players this early in the morning. But in that case, what is she supposed to do otherwise? Mariko's life would end in just 30 more minutes.
私
No!
なところで死ぬのは嫌。
I don't want to die in a place like this! Mariko's fear manifests as a scream, and then...
動くなこれ。
Don't move a fucking muscle. Huh?
なあおい。てめえよ、銃を頭に突きつけられたことあるか。
Hey, you ever had a gun pointed at your head before?
もしもなかったら、いい機会だ。勉強しとけ。
If not, then this is a good opportunity.
こいつが後頭部に銃を突きつけられてる感触ってやつだ。
Now you know just what it feels like to have a gun against the back of your skull.
この先経験することがあるなら、その時はむやみに動くんじゃねえぞ。
If you're ever put in another situation like this, don't make any rash moves.
命が惜しいならな。いいか？
If you value your life, that is. You catch me?
ああ？ 俺は宇宙語なんざわかんねえんだよ。日本語で答えろ、こら。
The hell? I don't speak fucking alien. Say something I can actually understand.
殺さないで。
Don't kill me.
そうそう。それでいいんだ。
Good. Now that's more like it. The man's laugh sent chills down Mariko's spine. Just then, Mariko heard yet another unfamiliar male voice.
黒川君、その辺にしておいた方がいいんじゃないかな。
Kurokawa, maybe you should just leave it at that?
その人、そこまでしなくても抵抗しそうにないよ。
It doesn't look like she's gonna put up a fight.
うっせえぞ、ミツル。
Shut the fuck up, Mitsuru.
この程度にいちいちこまごましたこと騒いでんじゃねえよ、バカ。
Don't bitch over every goddamn thing, you dumb shit.
ごめん。
Sorry. The feeble male voice backed off of those words. However, oddly enough, that exchange had slightly abated the fear churning Mariko's innards inside out.
黒川。
あ？なんだてめえ。俺のこと知ってんのか？
Huh? What, you know me or something, bitch?
つうか、よく見りゃてめえ上信学園の制服じゃねえか。
Wait, come to think of it, that's a Joshin Academy uniform, ain't it?
じゃあやっぱりあなたは。
Then you really are? Masaki Kurokawa, a name that brought a scowl to the face of anyone from Joshin Academy. Known for resorting to violence, there are many stories of his crimes that extended past the borders of the school. For example, sending a teacher who'd criticized his choice of clothing to the hospital for 3 months, or selling shady goods off campus. But even though he was infamous, it brought a twinge of relief to Mariko's heart to hear a familiar name in this place.
それであなたの要求は何なの？
So, what do you want?
意外と話が早いじゃねえか。そういう物分かりがいいやつは嫌いじゃないぜ。
You're quick on the uptake. Good. I like sensible types.
なに？そう難しいことじゃねえよ。まずありったけの食料をよこせ。
Anyway, it ain't no big deal or nothing. First, handle over all your food.
食料だったらそこに落ちてるので全部よ。
If you want food, it's all lying on the ground there.
よし、そんじゃ次は PDA だ。
Good. Okay, now fork over your PDA.
そんなの無理よ。これがなければゲームのクリア自体が不可能になってしまう。それはあなたも知っているでしょ。
I can't clear the game without it. You know that too, don't you?
うるせえバカ。それぐらい分かってんだよ。中身を確認するだけだ。
Shut the fuck up. Of course I know that shit. I just want to know what's on it. By that, he was probably referring to her clear condition and special function. But her clear condition aside, Mariko hadn't even told her teammates about her special function. She figured if they learned about it, it would all but certainly deal a massive blow to their teamwork.
おいてめえ、何黙ってくれてんだ？
Hey, say something already.
永久に黙るか？あ？
You want to be silenced for good? Well... Kurokawa lowered his voice and pressed the gun harder against Mariko's head. Mariko knew the longer she hesitated, the shorter her time until her collar exploded grew. After one last moment of hesitation, she chose to hand her PDA over to Kurokawa. Okay,
その前に一つだけ約束して。
but promise me one thing.
あ
私のクリア条件を満たすために協力してほしい。
I want you to help me fulfill my clear condition.
クリア条件はこれよ。
It's right here. Mariko took out her PDA and held it out behind her, her eyes still facing forward.
ミツル受け取れ。
Me too. Take it.
うん
Alright.
よし、すぐにこの女のクリア条件を教えろ。プレイヤーナンバーもだ。
Good. Tell me what her clear condition and player number are. Now.
上野マリコ。プレイヤーナンバーはエースで、クリア条件は
Mariko Ueno. Player number Ace. Her clear condition is...
特定のパートナーと3時間以上離れずに行動する。だって。
Don't spend more than 3 hours separated from your designated partner.
で、
Well,
私が仲間と隠れてからもうすぐ3時間経つの。
it's almost been 3 hours since I got separated from my partner.
つまりあなた、
So what you're saying is,
上野さんがゲームオーバーにならないために、僕か黒川君をパートナーとして再登録しなくちゃいけないんだね。
you need to register either me or Kurokawa as your new partner to avoid a game over, right?
そうしてもらえると助かるわ。
I'd really appreciate it if you'd let me.
ミツル、そいつの PDA よこせ。
Me too. Let me have her PDA.
あ、うん。
Okay.
なるほど。嘘は言ってねえな。
I see. So it's true.
この状況で嘘は言わないわよ。
I wouldn't lie in this situation.
あなたに撃たれなくたってこのまま放置されれば私はすぐに死ぬんだから。
Even if you don't shoot me, if you leave me here, I'll be dead very soon. Mariko's only chance to survive was a partner for either Kurokawa or Mitsuru. And after a few moments of deliberation,
いいぜ。
okay,
パートナーってやつになってやるよ。俺がな。
I'll be your partner or whatever.
本当に？
Really?
もちろんだ。
Yeah, of course I will.
ただし、お前の PDA は俺が預かる。
But I'll be holding on to your PDA. What? Mariko instinctively tried to face Kurokawa. But the revolver pressed against her head kept her in place.
文句は言わねえだろ。こんな特殊機能を持ったやつを野放しにして後で障害になったらたまんねえもんな。
No bitching about it, got it? Like hell I'd let someone with a special function like this shit to her own devices. I ain't gonna let a potential threat like that slide.
半径2メートル以内にいるプレイヤーの首輪を指定して爆発させる。
Detonate a designated collar of a player within 2 meters. Huh?
すごいよ、その特殊機能。どんなに体格差のある相手でも近づきさえすれば一撃必殺だ。
That's incredible. With that, you could instantly kill anyone who got too close, no matter how much stronger they are.
ああ、まあ銃より射程距離は短いが弾切れの心配はねえし悪くねえ獲物だ。
Yeah, it may not have the range of a gun, but you don't have to worry about running out of bullets. Not bad at all.
というわけでこいつは俺が預かる。
Anyway, I'll be keeping this.
お前は俺とパートナーを組むんだ。たまに1メートル以内に近づきゃルール的にも問題ねえはずだ。
I'll be your partner. As long as I get within a meter of you every now and then, you won't have to worry about the rules.
命と交換だと思えば悪くねえ取引だろ。
Ain't a bad trade now, is it? Better than being dead. To have her PDA taken away would be equivalent to placing your life in someone else's hands. Mariko couldn't help but find the situation incredibly ironic, considering she tried to do the same thing with Daisuke. But regardless of how Kurokawa planned on treating her, her time limit was ticking down fast. She had no choice but to obey. And with that thought, Mariko prepared to nod when... all of a sudden, the sensation of a gun against Mariko's head suddenly vanished. Surprised, she turned around. What she saw was Kurokawa with a face warped in pain, his revolver falling to the ground. A stone about the size of a fist was lying not too far away. God damn it! Who the fuck did that? With eyes like a falcon, Kurokawa roared as he looked out the window in the direction the stone had been thrown. Mariko quickly followed suit. She saw the vibrant greenery, the vast blue sky, and a red-haired girl holding aloft her next stone. That bitch! Right when Kurokawa screamed, the girl swung her arm. The stone flung into the shed's wall with great force.
なめた真似してくれるなおい。石ころで俺を倒そうってのか
Trying to beat me with goddamn rocks? You've got some balls to fuck with me. Kurokawa roared with hostility and bloodlust as the stone rolled out of the wall and slowly fell to the floor. Since his revolver was lying on the ground, he held up Mariko's PDA instead.
こいつの試し撃ちにもちょうどいい。あいつに実験台になっても
Perfect time to test this out. Why don't we try it on her? What?
ダメよ。それを使ったら相手は死んじゃうのよ。
You can't! If you use that, someone will die!
ああだから殺すって言ってんだろ
The hell? No fucking shit! Why else would I be doing it? You can't be... Kurokawa operated Mariko's PDAs as a special function screen. The red-haired girl charged into the shed at that moment. Kurokawa's fingers danced across the screen as he selected his target and reached out for the yes on the final confirmation screen. Go to hell, you fucking bitch! No! Mariko swung her arms around Kurokawa's right arm in the nick of time. What the fuck? Hey! Get the fuck off me! Whoever you are, this PDA is dangerous! Get out of here! Out of the fucking way! Kurokawa shook Mariko off him, knocking her into the wall. But he ignored her and turned back to the red-haired girl, ready to use the special function again. However, the girl landed a left middle kick directly on Kurokawa's right side. Caught totally off guard and with the fierce impact of the kick to his liver, Kurokawa recoiled, curling up into the shape of a C. But the girl's assault didn't stop there. Using the momentum of her left middle kick, she followed up with a right back roundhouse kick straight out of karate. Putting all her weight and centrifugal force into her heel, she nailed Kurokawa right in his jaw. Even the far physically superior Kurokawa was knocked flat to the ground.
余計な武器に頼るより正面から来た方がまだマシだったのにね。
Better to fight head on than to put too much faith in the weapon. Taking a deep breath, the girl glanced at her unconscious opponent before picking Mariko's PDA off the floor. Mariko watched with awe as the girl shook her head of exasperation.
襲われているように見えたけど余計な助けだった？
Oh, it looked like you were being attacked, but did you not actually need saving?
いえ、助かったわ。本当に。
No, you saved me.
よかった。ねえ、歩ける？
Good. Hey, can you walk? And just when the girl held out her hand to Mariko.
動くな。
Don't move! A sudden shout interrupted her. Mitsuru was standing there, holding Kurokawa's revolver. His face was full of fear, yet his eyes held a dangerous glint.
そこの女の子、逃げるわよ。
Hey you, girl, run. Now.
はい。
Huh? Oh, right! Mariko nodded after a moment's hesitation. She then ran out of the shed with the girl.
あ、待て。
Hey, wait! She heard Mitsuru shouting, but no gunshots. He probably didn't have the bloodlust or guts to shoot someone running in the back. Thankful for that, Mariko kept sprinting for her life.
この辺りでいいか。
We should be fine here. After running for 5 minutes, the two stopped in a spot completely surrounded by trees. Mariko heaved over and over again, trying to catch her breath.
大丈夫？怪我はない？
Are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
おかげさまで。
Thanks to you, no. Mariko looked the girl dead in the eye as she thanked her.
ありがとう。助けてくれて。
Thank you. You saved me.
いいっていいって。ああ、そうだ。これを渡すのを忘れていた。
Nah, no need for that. Oh right, forgot to give this to you. The girl held Mariko's PDA out to her.
返してくれるの？
You're giving this back to me?
そりゃそうよ。だってこれあんたのでしょ？
Well, duh. I mean, this is yours, right?
それはそうなんだけど、私の特殊機能はすごく危なくて。
Well, yeah, but my special function is really dangerous.
だから何？その機能を私に使うつもりでもあるの？
So what? Are you planning on using it on me or something?
まさかそんなことするわけないでしょ。
No, I'd never do that.
だったら何の問題もないじゃない。でもその代わりと言っちゃなんだけど、その特殊機能について詳しく教えてくれる？
And there's no problem. But in exchange, could you tell me all about that function?
半径2メートル以内の首輪を爆破するよ。
Okay. It allows me to detonate a collar within 2 meters. The red-haired girl's face tensed up. But after studying Mariko's face carefully,
なるほどね。まあ絶対使わないようにね。
I see. Well, just make sure not to use it, okay? She then placed the PDA back in Mariko's hands.
どうしたの？
Something wrong?
いや、私の特殊機能を知りながらそれでも返してくれる。
No, it's just... You're still giving it back to me even though you know my function?
まあ何でもかんでも疑ってたらキリがないからね。
If I doubt everyone and everything, I never get anywhere, right? The girl flashed a smile brimming with kindness and reliability. That, plus her dramatic rescue, was quickly winning Mariko over.
で、どうする？この先のことだけど。
So, what are you gonna do now? Suddenly, Mariko interrupted.
ねえ、助けてもらってばかりでさらにぶしつけだけど、一つお願いしていい？
I'm sorry to ask this when you've been nothing but helpful, but can I ask for a favor?
何？
Huh? What is it?
私と一緒に行動してほしいの。
I want you to team up with me.
私のクリア条件が3時間以上一人で行動しちゃダメって条件で、パートナーと決めた人と一緒にいなきゃいけないの。
My clear condition says I can't spend more than 3 hours away from someone, and I have to stick with who I choose as my partner.
でも私、仲間とはぐれちゃって。
But I got separated from my last team, so...
だから、あなたにパートナーになってほしいの。
So I want to make you my new partner. Mariko knew this was her last chance. She probably didn't even have 20 minutes left. If she didn't find a partner now, her death was all but certain.
だから、お願い、
So please,
お願い、だから。
I'm begging you.
そんな懇願しなくてもいいわよ。私も仲間を探してるの。
Hey, you don't have to beg so hard. I'll help you look for them too. Huh?
あんたと一緒に行動するのはもちろん、あんたが前の仲間たちと合流したいなら、それにも協力してあげるわ。
Of course I'll let you team up with me. And if you want to regroup with your last team, I'll help you with that too. Her response was exactly what Mariko had been hoping for.
それでいい？
Is that okay with you?
もちろん。
Yes, of course.
それと、ありがとう。
Also, thank you. Mariko bowed her head and registered the girl as her new partner on her PDA. She breathed a sigh of relief, only to realize something.
そうだ、自己紹介もまだだった。
Oh, right. I forgot to introduce myself.
私、上野マリコっていうの。これからよろしく。
My name's Mariko Ueno. Nice to meet you.
堂々言うなよ。よろしくね。
I'm Yuna Toto. Pleasure's all mine. Upon hearing Yuna's gentle voice, Mariko realized her heart warmed at some point. Even though Yuna knew Mariko was in possession of a dangerous special function, she allowed her to team up with her. To call her Mariko's savior would be no exaggeration. Wondering how she could possibly repay her, Mariko spoke respectfully.
あなたのためにできることは何でもするから。
If there's anything I can do for you, I swear I'll do it.
見返りを要求するつもりなんかないって。仲間を増やすこと自体、私の目的でもあるし。
I'm not asking for any kind of reward or something like that. Gaining more allies is my goal, after all.
目的？それがユーナさんのクリア条件なの？
Your goal? Is that your clear condition?
そんなとこ。
Huh? Yeah, something like that.
理想的にはゲームの参加者全員を仲間にしたいんだけどね。先は長くてまだ他に一人しか仲間にできてないんだ。
Ideally, I'd like to make all the game's participants my allies. But I've got a long way to go, and I've only made one ally so far.
まずはその子のところに案内するわ。ついといで。
I'll take you to her. Follow me.
はい。
Okay. Mariko nodded and followed Yuna.
あ、ユーナさん、無事だったの？っていうか、その人、誰？
Oh, Yuna, you're okay. Wait, who's that? The pair arrived at a cabin where a girl with gentle features was waiting for them. The girl pointed at Mariko with puzzlement.
ユイ、こっちはマリコ。例の金髪男に襲われてたから助けたの。
Yui, this is Mariko. I saved her from that blonde guy.
またあの人悪さしてたんですか？怖いな。
What? Was he up to no good again? Jeez, he's so scary. A look of fear emerged on the girl's face.
あなたもあの金髪の男を知ってるの？
You know that guy too?
あ、はい。前にちょっといざこざがあって、それがきっかけでユーナさんと出会ったんです。
Oh, yes. I got in some trouble with him before. That's how I met Yuna, actually.
それから一緒に行動してたんですけど、ユーナさん、さっきあの金髪の男を見かけて。
She and I have been traveling together since, but just a short while ago, Yuna spotted that blonde guy again.
私は足手まといだからって言って、この小屋に置いて金髪の男をつけていったんですよ。
Yuna said I'd just get in the way, so she left me in this hut while she followed that guy.
もう、どれだけ心配したか。
You really had me worried, you know that?
あ、ごめんごめん。だってユイとろそうだし、マジで足手まといだから。
Sorry about that, but he seemed really clumsy, so he really would have just gotten in the way.
ひどい。
You're so mean. Yui's eyes grew teary at Yuna's retort. But despite her blunt words, it was clear that Yuna cared deeply for Yui. Mariko smiled at that sight.
マリコ、何笑ってんの？
Huh? What's with the smile, Mariko?
私がいじめられてるの、そんなに面白いですか？
Is it really that funny to see me getting bullied?
違うよ。なんていうかその
No, that's not it.
すごく安心しちゃって。
I'm just so relieved. It was the first time she smiled since she thought Shuhei and the others had abandoned her. Meanwhile, with Shuhei, Kodomi, and Daisuke, after half an hour of searching passed by in the blink of an eye, they focused on looking for memory chips. They managed to find 4 in nearly 2 hours, a fairly smooth number, all things considered. But it was clear from the 3 empty cubes they'd found that other players were getting memory chips as well. However, they spent their time searching not only for memory chips, but Mariko as well. For now, all they could do was pray that she'd manage to find a new partner. Eventually, the 3 of them had a late breakfast. As they ate, Kotomi heaved a great sigh.
これからどうしようか。
Now what do we do?
このままメモリーチップ集めでいいんじゃね？他に集めてる奴らがいるっぽいしな。
Shouldn't we just keep looking for memory chips? I mean, others clearly are.
ま、メモリーチップは引き続き集めていけばいいさ。
Well, I agree we should keep gathering memory chips.
ただ、他のプレイヤーと全く遭遇できないのはまずいな。
But we'll be in trouble if we don't meet any other players.
確かにな。 これだけ歩き回ってれば何人かには当たりそうなもんだけどな。
Point taken. But I think we have bumped into someone now with all the walking. Meeting other players was key to both Shuhei and Daisuke's clear conditions. So it was troubling the hand bumped into Annie, even after a day and a half of walking around.
でもどうするよ。思い切って行動範囲をガツンと変えてみるか。
Well, what should we do? Take a 180 in the areas we search?
それもいいけど、まずは初音を探してみないか。
That could work. Why don't we try looking for Hatsune first?
初音ちゃんを。
ああ、初音の特殊機能はプレイヤーの探知だ。
Yeah. Her special function detects other players.
範囲は狭いけど、闇雲に歩き回るより他のプレイヤーと接触できる確率は高くなる。
Its range is very limited, but we'll have a higher chance of encountering other players with that, rather than walking around blindly.
人探しには便利かもね。
Yeah, it might make things easier looking for people.
ちょっと待てよ。お前ら本気か？
Whoa now, hold the phone. Are you guys serious? Daisuke suddenly jolted to his feet and shouted as though he were under the gun.
どういう意味だ？
What are you getting at?
初音は俺からメモリーチップを奪って逃げたんだぜ。
Don't you remember? Hatsune stole my memory chips and ran off.
そんな奴と合流してもせっかく集めたメモリーチップを取られて終わりだって絶対。
If we meet up with her again, it only ends with her taking off all the memory chips we worked so hard to get.
そのことなんだけどな、大輔。
About that, Daisuke.
初音は本当に大輔のことを裏切って逃げたの？
Is it really true Hatsune betrayed you and ran off? Daisuke's face paled for a moment. That conspicuous reaction didn't escape Shuhei's scrutiny.
俺にはあの初音が大輔を裏切って逃げるなんてどうしても思えないんだ。
I simply can't believe Hatsune of all people would betray you and run away.
それはあれだ。
Well, it was, you know.
お前らは会って数時間しか経ってないからわかんねえだけだって。
You guys just can't tell because you only spent a few hours with her.
あの女、俺と一緒の時なんて俺にばっかキューブを探させて自分はふんぞり返ってたんだぜ。
When she was with me, that girl just laid back and made me work my ass off finding all those cubes.
それは嘘だよ。
You're lying. Kodomi shot Daisuke down with an unfaltering voice brimming with conviction. She continued, her eyes not moving an inch away from Daisuke's.
初音ちゃんは自分だけ働かないで食べさせてもらうのを嫌がってたもの。
Hatsune hated the idea of being the only one not working for her own food.
だから雲が大嫌いなのに我慢して涙目になりながら頑張ってたんだよ。
That's why she put up with her fear of spiders and worked so hard, even if it made her cry.
だそうだ。どうなんだ、大輔。
And there you have it. Well, we have to say that, Daisuke.
大輔くん、お願い、本当のことを言ってくれないかな。
Daisuke, please, can't you just tell us the truth? Kodomi pressed Daisuke for an answer, holding her hands in front of her chest as if in prayer. Daisuke took a deep breath at that sight. Eventually, he let out a profound sigh of resignation.
ああ、嘘だよ。初音は裏切ってなんかいない。
Okay, yeah, I was lying. Hatsune didn't betray me.
けど違うんだ。
But it wasn't like that. Daisuke shouted at Shuhei and Kodomi, who were looking at him sadly.
あれはどうしようもなかったんだって。
There was just nothing I could do, that's all.
初音が罠に引っかかったんだ。司の。
Hatsune fell into a trap set by Tsukasa.
司。
Shuhei's complexion changed. He never expected to hear that name from Daisuke.
司が罠を仕掛けていて、それに初音がハマったのか？
So Tsukasa set a trap and Hasane fell into it?
ああ、そうだよ。落とし穴だったけど、初音がそれにはまったんだ。
Yeah, that's right. Hasane got stuck in the pitfall.
もちろんすぐに助けようとしたぜ。そしたら司の野郎が出てきて、いきなり銃を構えて動くなって。
I tried to help her right away, of course. But then that bastard Tsukasa came out, held up a gun, and told me not to move.
で、大輔はその後どうしたの？
So what'd you do next?
それは
I...
それは
I...
逃げてきた。
I ran away. Upon hearing that, Shuhei sighed and looked up to the skies.
だって銃だぜ。銃撃たれたら痛いじゃ済まないだろ。死んじまうだろ。
But cut me some slack. He had a goddamn gun. If he'd shot me, I could have died, right?
さすがにこれはやばいって思って、それで
I realized I was in deep shit, and so I...
大輔君、銃を向けられて怖かったのはわかるけど、できればすぐ私たちに本当のことを教えてほしかったよ。
I kept being scared from having a gun pointed at you, but I wish you told us the truth right away.
だけど初音を見捨ててきたってお前らにバレたら俺
Well, if you guys found out that I'd been Hatsune, I...
人間だもん。死ぬのが怖いのは当たり前だよ。
You're only human. It's natural to be scared of dying.
だからそれを理由に私やしゅうちゃんは大輔君を軽蔑したり仲間外れになんてしないよ。
Shu and I wouldn't look down on you for something like that, and wouldn't cut you out either.
すまん。
Sorry. Daisuke bowed his head apologetically.
で、初音を置いて逃げたのはいつ頃の話だ？
So when exactly did this happen?
昨日の夕方だよ。
Yesterday evening.
場所は？
Where?
ここから北にある山小屋のそばだ。そこで一泊しようと思ったら罠があって。
Next to this mountain hut to the north of here. We were considering spending the night there when Hasane bumped into that trap.
その山小屋が司の拠点なのかもな。
I see. Tsukasa might be in that hut.
司の他に誰かいたか？
Was there anyone else there besides Tsukasa?
いや、誰も見てない。
No. I didn't see anyone.
そうか。わかった。
Okay, got it. If Tsukasa had set up a trap and acquired a weapon, it was possible he was operating under the belief that it didn't matter if he brought harm to other players.
さて、どうしたものか。
Now then, what to do?
ことみ、お前だったらどうする？
Kotomi, what would you do?
初音ちゃんのこと
You mean about Hatsune?
あ
Yeah.
とりあえず一度初音ちゃんに会いに行きたいかな。
Go meet with Hatsune first, I guess.
司くんが私たちにとって敵になるかどうかはわからないけど、
We don't know if Tsukasa is our enemy.
初音ちゃんが戻ってきたいと思ってるなら助けてあげなくちゃ。
But if Hatsune wants to come back, we need to help her.
そう。
You're right. But they would need to take great caution if they're going to march into Tsukasa's stronghold. They had to avoid a situation where they were undefended while Tsukasa attacked them without giving them a chance to speak.
問題はこっちが持ってる武器の数か。
The problem is with the number of weapons we have. Huh?
別に初めから戦おうってわけじゃない。だが戦いを避けるためにもある程度の抑止力は必要だろう。
I'm not saying we should attack as a first measure. We'll need some protection to prevent a fight from breaking out.
だから司のところへ向かうにはまず武器を。
So before we go and meet Tsukasa, we have to get our hands on a weapon first. Shuhei's PDA beeped at that exact moment.
あれ、俺のは鳴ってないぞ。
Huh? My PDA's not ringing.
またしゅうちゃんのだけ？
Just shoes again?
ってことはもしかして。
Which means... Shuhei took out his PDA and checked the menu screen. Just as he expected, the letter mark to the bottom right of the flag icon shone up again. Shuhei immediately opened up the email. The hell? He then discovered the rather timely message of, "Are you in need of any weapons?" Five minutes later, the team was greeted by a girl who couldn't look any more out of place if she tried.
私、粕谷ひとみと申します。
My name is Hitomi Kasuya.
メイドだよな。
That's a maid, isn't it?
メイドだね。
Yep, that's a maid.
これがメイド以外の何だってんだ？
What else could she be? Well, strictly speaking, she might not have been a maid. But at the very least, her dress and apron made it hard for him to see this elegant girl as anything else.
あ
周平様、まずは参上するのが遅れたことをお詫びいたします。
Master Shuhei, first, please permit me to apologize for not revealing myself sooner.
粕谷さん。
Kasuya?
ひとみとお呼びくださいませ。敬語等も不要です。
Please, call me Hitomi. There is no need to display restraint. The maid known as Hitomi spoke with emphasis. Shuhei didn't know why, but it seemed like she really wanted him to call her by name.
あら、そんなに緊張なさらなくても結構ですよ。
Oh my, you don't have to express such rigidity.
どうか、ここをご自宅だと思っておくつろぎください。
Please, by all means, just relax and think of this as your own home.
いや、そりゃ無茶ってもんじゃ。
I think that's asking a little too much. Hitomi didn't even spare Daisuke a single glance. It seemed that Shuhei was the only one she was paying any attention to.
それで、瞳は何者なんだ？
Anyway, who exactly are you?
私の正体ですか？見ての通り、通りすがりのメイドです。
You wish to know my identity? Just a passing maid, as you can see.
通りすがりって。
Passing maid?
じゃあ、どうして俺たちの前に出てきたんだ？
Then why did you show yourself to us?
周平様が武器をご所望されているようでしたので。
Because you expressed a desire for weapons, Master Shuhei.
ってことは、瞳があのメールを？
So you were the one behind that email?
はい。私の PDA の特殊機能でございます。
Yes, it is my PDA special function. Hitomi gracefully presented her own PDA. On the screen was the following text. Send an email to a PDA within 100 meters. After sending one email to a PDA, you can email that PDA again even when out of the designated range.
本当はもっと早くご連絡を差し上げたかったのですが、勇気を出すまでに時間がかかってしまいました。
In reality, I had intended to contact you sooner, but I required time to muster the courage.
先日ご連絡を差し上げた際は、周平様に危機が迫っており、やむなくという形でした。
I only contacted you yesterday because I had no choice after seeing you were heading to danger, Master Shuhei.
ですが、あの一件がなければ、こうして直にお話しすることもなかったと思うと、私は運命を感じざるを得ません。
But when I consider that we may never have spoken face to face were it not for that incident, I believe it must have been destiny.
おい、この人なんか。
Hey, this chick's kinda...
言うな。
Stop. Shuhei knew what Daisuke wanted to say, but settled for giving Hitomi back her PDA.
ひとまず、瞳がメールの送り主ってことは分かった。
I understand now you're the one who sent me that email.
で、すごく素朴な疑問なんだけど。
And so I have a very simple question for you.
はい。
By all means.
どうしてさっきから俺にしか話しかけてこないんだ？
You've only been speaking to me so far. Why?
私は周平様のメイドですから。
Because I'm your maid, of course.
よくわからないんだけど、どうして俺のなんだ？
I don't really understand. Why me?
昨日の説明会を覚えていらっしゃいますか？
Do you recall the briefing yesterday?
ああ、覚えてるけど。
Well, yeah.
あの場に私もおりました。
I was there too. Huh?
どこにいたの？全然気づかなかったよ。
Where were you? I didn't notice you at all.
あれ？ひとみさん？
Huh? Hitomi?
おい、
Hey.
はい。何でしょうか、周平様。
Yes? What is it, Master Shuhei?
ひとみさん。
Hitomi?
やれやれ。
Oh, brother. Not only was she not speaking to anyone but Shuhei, she wasn't even reacting to them.
徹底してるんだね。
She's consistent, that's for sure.
おい、この人ってもしかして。
Hey, I really think this chick's...
言うなって。
I said don't. Shuhei held his hand out to Daisuke. He didn't want to hear any more. Realizing he had to get this issue resolved sooner rather than later, he decided to try asking Hitomi a favor as her master, uncomfortable as it made him feel.
ひとみ、俺の頼みを聞いてもらえるか？
Hitomi, can I ask you a favor?
はい。ご命令でしたら何なりと。
Yes, I will obey any order you give.
俺以外のやつの言葉にも反応してくれ。みんな俺の仲間なんだ。
Respond to what everyone besides me says. They're my teammates.
かしこまりました。お安いご用でございます。
Understood. It is a simple wish. Hitomi held up the edges of her skirt and curtsied, bowing her head low. It seemed Shuhei's request had done the trick.
それじゃあ琴美、改めてどうぞ。
Okay, Komi, go ahead and try again.
説明会の時にひとみさんはどちらにいらっしゃったんですか？
Oh, right. So, Hitomi, where were you during the briefing?
会場の隅にあった掃除用グリルの中です。
In the clean tool bin in the corner of the hall. What?
なんでそんなところに？
Why were you in a place like that?
私が生涯をもってお仕えする主を探すためです。
To find a master I could serve for the rest of my life.
いや、ご主人様を探すためって。
Wait, find a master?
いけませんか？
Is there something wrong about that?
いけないってことはないけど、一生かけて使えるの？本当に？
Well, no, but serve the rest of your life? Really?
はい。それが私の使命ですので。
Yes, that is my duty. Hitomi answered as if for the most obvious answer there was. However, just as she said that, her cheeks flushed, and she kneeled before Shuhei.
そして私は周平様が運命のご主人様であると確信した次第です。
And then, I became convinced that Master Shuhei was destined to be my master.
確信されるようなことをした覚えはないんだが。
I don't remember ever doing anything there to convince you of that.
いいえ、周平様の説明会における華麗なる立ち回りを見れば何も感じないメイドなどおりません。
Do not be so humble. There was no maid out there who would not be awed by your magnificent turnabout in the briefing. Shuhei's face froze as he realized she was talking about his private conversation with the administrator after the briefing. Since he didn't want Komi or Daisuke to know what had been said there, it'd be very inconvenient if Hitomi started mouthing off about those events. However,
周平が華麗な立ち回りなんてしてたか？
Shuhei made a magnificent turnabout?
私たちメイドじゃないからわからないのかもね。
Maybe it's time we'd have to be a maid to understand. Shuhei felt a wave of relief upon realizing neither of them knew what she meant.
ご安心ください。周平様の勇姿は私の心の中にのみ留めておきます。
Rest assured, Master Shuhei. Your gallant figure shall remain only in my heart.
ああ、そうしてもらえると助かるよ。
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. Shuhei shot Hitomi a bitter look. However, she only smiled back at him, as though she were just happy he was looking at her. With that, she gracefully rose to her feet.
さて、それでは最初の要件に戻りましょう。
Now then, let us return to the initial matter.
武器がご入り用かと思いまして、私の方でいくつか持参いたしました。
I believe the time would come where you would need weapons, so I brought several with me. Tommy pulled a golf bag out of a nearby grove. She opened it to reveal a wide variety of weapons, from knives to pistols.
すっげえなこれ。よくこんな集めたな。
Holy shit! You sure did gather a lot.
周平様のためを思い、一心不乱に駆け回りました。
I searched far and wide to assist Master Shuhei.
武器は適当に選んでくださって構いません。必要とあればこちらで見繕うことも可能です。
Please, take any weapon you want. If necessary, I can pick one for you. Daisuke fished through the bag like a kid through his birthday presents, taking out all sorts of weapons with awe.
っておいおい、チェーンソーまであるぜ。
Whoa, wait a sec. You brought a chainsaw too?
申し訳ございません。そちらはお取り置きください。
I apologize, but please leave that one there.
え、なんで？
Huh? Why?
それは私の獲物ですので。
Because it is my weapon of choice. Hitomi ignored the surprised look on Daisuke's face and took a chainsaw out of the golf bag. Its orange body, embedded with a two-stroke gasoline engine, was equipped with a handle and a chain-like blade fringed with guide bars. Everyone but Hitomi gulped. Even without the engine on, they could tell from a single glance just how dangerous the imposing weapon was.
ごっついな。
Damn, that looks brutal.
重そう。
And heavy, too.
しかし、どうしてチェーンソーなんだ？
But why a chainsaw?
それはもちろんメイドといえばチェーンソーですから。
Because where there's maids, there's chainsaws, of course.
は
Wait, what?
あ、まあ、本人がいいならそれでいいんだけど。
Well, if you're fine with it, then I guess it's okay. It was probably related to some sort of inner pride and rule Hitomi had. By this point, Shuhei had come to realize it was pointless to question every little thing about her.
だけどこれで初音ちゃんを助けに行けるね。
But we can use these to save Hatsune, can't we?
ああ、そうだな。
Yeah, that's right.
何かご不満な点がございますか？
Is there something that displeases you?
ああ、いや、そういうわけじゃない。
Oh, no, it's not like that.
ただ、お前もついてくるつもりなんだろう。
It's just, you're planning to come with us, aren't you?
当然です。周平様をお守りするためですから。
But of course, protecting your life is my duty, Master Shuhei. Shuhei felt his spirits sink at the thought of having this incomprehensible girl following them around from now on.
Huh. とりあえず今のところは上々かな。
Phew. I suppose it shall suffice for now. Tsukasa Mitsubayashi, bathing in the rising sun, beheld the fruits of his labors. He'd gotten his hands on enough memory chips and weapons, and refined the traps that had been lying around the mountain cabin. To Tsukasa, who wasn't exactly fit by any standard, it was truly fortuitous that he could use his cabin as a base.
さて、ここからはどう動こうかな。
Now then, what next?
僕のクリア条件を満たすには、最低でもあと2人は仲間を見つけなきゃならないんだけど。
I'll need to find at least 2 more teammates to fulfill my condition. But just as Tsukasa began pondering his next course of action, an ear-piercing scream resounded from the mountains.
おや、早速獲物がかかったみたいだね。
Well, that was fast. It appears I've caught a stray. It seemed this place truly was perfect for him. Tsukasa's lips unconsciously curled into a smile, and he ran in the direction of the scream. And when he arrived on the scene, he saw a girl strung up in midair.
こんな、いや。
Damn you!
ずいぶん元気な女の子だな。
My, what a spirited girl we have here.
そこのあなた、早く私をここから降ろしなさい。
Hey, you! Release me at once!
ああ、いいけど、その前に交渉しよう。
Sure, I don't mind. But let's make a deal first.
君を降ろしてあげる代わりに、僕の仲間になってくれないかな。
If I let you go, will you team up with me?
仲間？
Team up?
大丈夫だよ。僕といれば君もクリアできる。僕の言うことを聞いて、素直に動けばね。
Don't worry. If you stick with me, you'll win this game too. All you have to do is do everything I say.
だから、
So,
お断りします。
I refuse. What? Tsukasa's eyes widened. Given the circumstances, he certainly hadn't been expecting the girl to say no, and right away at that.
あまり状況を理解していないみたいだね。今の君に拒否権はないと思うけど。
It seems you don't have a good grasp on your situation. Do you really think you're in a position to refuse?
それとも、僕が仕掛けた罠に怒っているのかな？
Or are you simply mad about the trap?
当然です。
Of course.
このような非人道的な罠で体の自由を奪い、天津さえ不女子のあらでもない姿を弛緩する下船の輩に私は屈しません。
I shall not yield to a vulgar fiend like you who sets an inhuman trap that binds young women and places them in modest positions to be ogled at.
縄をほどいて早く私を解放しなさい。一線のもとに断罪してあげます。
Untie the rope and unhand me at once. I shall make your punishment swift.
君さ、もうちょっとこう、囚われの身であることを自覚して、僕に媚びとか売ってみたら？
You know, isn't this the part where you're supposed to realize you're trapped and attempt to flatter me or something?
反撃するにしても、そんな素直に敵意を向けられちゃ、騙すに騙せないでしょ。
I understand wanting to fight back, but you'll never fool anyone if you bear your hostility so openly.
あなたもあの女と同じようなことを言うのですね。
That girl said the same thing.
なぜ私がそんな騙し討ちのような真似をしなければならないのです。
Why should I have to resort to such foul tactics?
いや、だって状況がさ。
Well, I mean, given your current standing...
よくそんな卑怯なことを平然と口にできますね。自分が恥ずかしくならないんですか？
You sure have guts to utter such cowardice with a straight face. Have you no shame?
変わった子だね、君は。
You really are a funny girl, huh?
まあいいや。だったらこっちもやり方を変えるよ。
I suppose it doesn't matter. I'll switch tactics then.
罠については謝罪しよう。こんな強引な手段は本意ではなかったし、君を恥ずかしめる意図もなかった。
I apologize for trapping you. I did not wish to resort to such forceful means, and it was not my intent to humiliate you.
でも、 僕にも事情があって他に方法がなかったんだ。許してくれとは言わないけど理解はしてほしい。
But I had no other choice, given my circumstances. I won't ask for forgiveness, but I would ask for your understanding.
意外と素直なのですね。
I did not expect such honesty, I admit.
いいでしょう。自ら罪を認めるのであれば悔い改める機会を与えてあげないことがないです。
Very well. If you admit to your own sins, I suppose I can give you a chance to repent.
ありがたいね。じゃあ罪滅ぼしと言ってはなんだけど、僕のところに来れば水も食料もあるし、夜寝るところにも不自由しないよ。
I appreciate that. Penance aside, come with me and I'll give you water, food, and a place to sleep.
食べ物があるのですか？
You have food?
君って降りることより食べ物の方に反応するんだ。
You seem more excited about that than being released.
昨日から何も食べてないんです。
I have not eaten since yesterday.
あれ、もしかしてメモリーチップの存在も知らないとか？
Huh? Does that mean you don't know about memory chips?
メモリーチップ？
Memory chips?
やっぱり知らないんだ。
So you really don't know.
だったら君、どうして説明会に来なかったの？
And why didn't you attend the briefing?
説明会？
What briefing?
これも知らないんだ。
So you don't know about that either?
君さ、もしかして PDA も持ってないとかじゃないよね？
Do you not happen to have a PDA or something?
失礼な。それはちゃんと持っています。
Such impudence. I do have one of those.
ただ使い方が全くわからないだけです。私はテクノロジーは苦手です。
I just don't know how to use it, that's all. I'm not very good with this whole technology stuff.
なるほど。苦労してるみたいだね。
I see. Sounds like you've had it rough.
なら食料をあげるついでに PDA の使い方も教えてあげるよ。それに君がゲームを無事にクリアできるよう手助けもする。
Then I'll teach you how to use a PDA in addition. I'll also help you clear the game safe and sound.
どう？これなら僕を許してくれるかい？
Well, think you can forgive me now?
そこまで言われても情けをかけないわけにもいきませんね。
After all of that, to not show mercy would be a greater crime. The girl turned her face away in reluctance. Exasperated by her less than stellar acting, Scassa decides to move on.
ところで君、名前は？
By the way, what's your name?
そういうのはそちらが先に名乗るのが礼儀ではありませんか？
Isn't it proper manners to give your name first for asking that?
はいはい。僕は三林司。で、君は？
Sure, sure. I'm Tsukasa Mitsubayashi. And you are?
私は牧岡レイです。
I'm Rei Makioka.
レイか。なかなかいい名前だね。
Rei, huh? That's a nice name.
はい、よく言われます。
Yes, I get that a lot.
いや、今のは社交辞令だったんだけど。
No, I was just being courteous, that's all.
いいから早く私を降ろしなさい。
Just let me down already.
はいはい、わかったよ。
Okay, okay, I'm on it. This one seems like she'll be fun to tease. Tsukasa untied the rope as that thought crossed his mind. He explained how to use a PDA to Rei while they headed to the mountain cabin.
ここが司の？
This is your...
そう、拠点さ。
Yes, my base.
他に仲間はいないのですか？
Do you have any other teammates?
それは難しい質問だね。
That's a tricky question.
それはどういう意味ですか？
Huh? What do you mean by that?
まあ、とにかく中に入ってよ。
Let's just go inside first. Tsukasa opened the cabin's door. And just then... Hatsune, who'd been huddled up in the corner of the room, trembled with a jolt. When she saw the overreaction, Ray shot an accusing glare at Skasa.
つかさ
誓って言うけど僕は何もしてないよ。
I swear I haven't done anything to her.
それは嘘ですね。
You lie.
きっと私みたいに宙吊りにしたに決まっています。
You clearly strung her up just like me.
いや、彼女の場合は落とし穴だったかな。
No, it was a pitfall in her case.
この鬼畜
You beast!
いや、言っておくけど、あの辺にあった罠は僕が仕掛けたわけじゃないよ。
Now hold on. Just so you know, I didn't set up the traps around here.
多分前回のゲームの参加者が残していったものじゃないかな。僕はそれに手を加えて利用させてもらってるだけさ。
They were probably left here by participants of a former game. I merely revised them to use for my own means.
いいえ、それでもおかしいです。だとしたら彼女はなぜあんなに怯えているのですか？
That still doesn't add up. If that's the case, why is this girl so frightened?
さあ、僕も気になって何度か尋ねてるんだけど、詳しくは話してくれないんだ。
Your guess is as good as mine. I've tried asking her several times, but she won't give me any details.
これでもだいぶ落ち着いた方だよ。捕獲した時なんてほとんど錯乱状態だったからね。
Believe me, all looks aside, she's fairly calm now. When I caught her, she had all but lost her mind.
ここに来る前によっぽどひどい目にあったのだけは間違いないと思うよ。
Something very bad must have happened to her before she got here. I'm sure of it.
そうなのですか？それは気の毒ですね。
Is that so? I'm sorry to hear that. Ray looked at Hatsune with pity.
彼女、名前は初音って言うんだけど、レイも仲良くしてやってよ。
This girl's name is Hatsune. Try to get along with her.
落ち着いてくれば、そのうち事情を話してくれるかもしれない。
If she calms down, she might eventually open up to us.
はい、わかりました。
Yes, I understand.
ま、僕は裏切らないんだから、いい加減信頼してほしいところなんだけどね。
Well, I won't betray her, so I hope she comes to trust me eventually.
罠にかけた張本人が言っても逆効果だと思います。
I think hearing that from the one who openly admits he trapped her only has the opposite effect.
いや逆だね。罠にかかったから僕と組めたんだ。
You're wrong. It's actually the other way around. She's with me because she fell into that trap.
彼女にとっては幸運だよ。
It was a stroke of fortune for her.
随分と自信満々ですね。何か根拠があるのですか？
You sound very sure of yourself. Have you any basis for that?
ああ、その理由は今から説明するよ。
Yes. Allow me to explain. Skasa leaned against the desk and stared back at the somewhat sullen Ray with a calm expression. She followed suit by sitting in a chair.
じゃあまずは質問から。ではこのゲームを生き残るために必要なものは何だと思う？
But first, a question. What do you think is necessary to survive this game, Ray?
力です。
Power.
そう言うと思ったよ。
Yes, I figured you'd say that.
何ですか？バカにしているのですか？
What was that? Are you mocking me?
いや、そういうわけじゃないよ。
Oh no, not at all.
でもこのゲームをクリアするのに必要な要素は一つじゃない。僕はそれが3つだと考えている。
But a single factor won't be enough to win the game. I believe there are 3 necessary ones.
3つ？
3?
ああ、まず1つ目の要素は PDA に示されたクリア条件を満たすことさ。
Yes. First of all, fulfilling our PDA's clear conditions.
だってそうだろ。PDA のクリア条件を満たさない限り僕らは生きて帰れない。
It's only natural. We can't survive unless we accomplish that.
まあ基本ですね。
Well, it is the base of the game, isn't it?
そうだね。基本だね。
Yes. I suppose that's a good way of putting it.
だからレイと協力するにあたってまずは条件を交換したいんだけど、それは構わないよね。
So if we are to cooperate, I'd like to share our conditions. Is that alright with you?
いいでしょう。それをしなくては始まりませんから。
Very well. Nothing will change unless we do.
僕の PDA はキング。条件はクリア条件を満たしたプレイヤーが3人以上だ。
My PDA is the king. My condition is Over 3 players fulfill their clear conditions.
プレイヤーは全員で14人。そのうち僕を含めて3人が最終日まで生き残れば自動的に条件は達成される。
There are 14 players in total, so if at least 3 are alive at the end, myself included, I automatically fulfill it.
なるほど。あなたが強引に仲間を作ろうとしている理由はそれですか。
I see. So that's why you're so pushy about gathering teammates.
クリアを手伝うと言われた時は正直疑わしいと思っていましたが。
Though in all honesty, I thought it was fishy when you said you would help me with my clear condition.
はい、というわけで次は例の番だ。
Understandable. With that being said, it's your turn now.
わかりました。
Alright.
私のプレイヤーナンバーは9。条件はジョーカーの PDA の所持です。
My player number is 9. My condition is acquire the Joker PDA.
つまりジョーカーの PDA の所有者が私のターゲットになります。
So basically, the owner of the Joker PDA is now my target.
ターゲットって物騒な言い方するんだね。
Target? That's an unsettling way of putting it.
別に奪い取る必要なんてないんだから。くれぐれも暴力に訴えるような真似はしないでよ。
You don't have to steal from them or anything, so could you please avoid resorting to violence?
それは相手の出方次第です。
That depends on their attitude.
やれやれ、随分と勇敢なお嬢さんだ。
Oh boy. What an audacious lady you are.
え、変。
Mm-hmm.
いや、褒めてないんだけど。
You do realize that wasn't a compliment, right?
あなたさっきからちょいちょい失礼ですね。
Are you aware of how impudent you've been this whole time?
はいはい、そう思ったんなら謝るよ。
Now. I apologize if I gave you that impression.
それじゃあ話を戻すけど、クリアのために必要な要素の2つ目は何だと思う？
Let's get back on topic. What do you think the second necessary factor to clearing this game is?
やはり力です。
As I said, power.
食料の確保だよ。
Securing supplies.
なるほど。それは五臓六腑に染み渡るほど痛感しています。
I see. That's something my body is maybe painfully aware of.
うん、だろうね。
I bet.
食料に関してはいずれ全てのプレイヤーが悩まされる大きな問題になる。どうしてだかわかる？
Supplies will become a major problem for all the players sooner or later. Do you know why?
お腹が空くからです。
Because they'll get hungry.
違うんですか？
Huh? Was I wrong?
お腹が減るのは当然でしょ。議論すべきはそこじゃない。
Of course they'll get hungry. That's not what I wanted to discuss. It wasn't supposed to have been a difficult question, but Ray instantly scowled. However, the answer came from an unexpected source.
メモリーチップが無限にないからなのです。
It's because memory chips are limited.
違うんですか？
Am I wrong?
いや、正解だよ。よくわかってるじゃないか。
No, that's correct. Very astute, Hatsune. Thank you. It seemed the added presence of Ray truly would be the key to opening Hatsune's heart, unlike when she'd been alone with Tsukasa. Tsukasa made that analysis as he accepted Hatsune's opinion, seeing this as an opportunity to unravel her heart.
初音が言った通り、メモリーチップの総数には限度がある。
Just as Hatsune said, the number of memory chips is limited.
2つのエリアでキューブを重点的に探したけど、1つのエリアあたりの配置数は5、6個。
I predominantly searched 2 areas for cubes and found there were about 5 to 6 cubes per area.
エリアは全部で25だから、単純計算でメモリーチップの総数は125から150個前後と推測できる。
There are 25 areas in total, so by my calculations, I surmise there are about 125 to 150 memory chips in total.
これを14人のプレイヤーが1日2箱消費すると、だいたい5日で全ての食料がなくなる計算だ。
If each of the 14 players uses 2 of them per day, I estimate they'll all be used up within 5 days.
でもこのゲームがいつまで続くかは不明だし、メモリーチップだって全てのプレイヤーに均等に行き渡るわけじゃない。
Well, we don't know how long this game will last, and it's not like the memory chips will be received equally amongst all the players.
メモリーチップの重要性に気づいた一部のプレイヤーが独占に走るだろうからね。
Those select few players who have realized the importance of the memory chips are likely scrambling to monopolize on them now.
話が見えてきました。メモリーチップは食料や武器になるだけでなく、交渉道具にも化けると言いたいのですね。
I think I follow. We're implying memory chips will eventually be used not only for food and weapons, but also as bargaining chips?
正解。
Correct.
それで司はどの程度集めているのです？
So how many have you gathered so far?
食料の入ったアルミ缶が5個、メモリーチップのストックが7個だよ。
I obtained 5 cans of food, and I have 7 chips in stock.
なるほど。
I see.
さて、説明を続けようか。
Alright, allow me to continue explaining.
3つ目の要素は好戦的なプレイヤーへの対抗策だね。
The third factor is countermeasures for belligerent players.
クリアのためなら手段を問わないというのがこのゲームのルールだ。
Whatever means used to fulfill your clear condition are irrelevant. That's the law of the game.
そしてゲームのフィールドには日常生活では触れる機会のない強力な武器が用意されている。
And the game field is littered with powerful weapons you never get your hands on in your ordinary life.
当然プレイヤー同士の戦闘は目的を果たすための手段となり得る。
Naturally, fighting other players is a viable method to fulfill your condition.
だからそういったプレイヤーに対抗する自衛手段としてこちらも武装する。
So we've armed ourselves in order to have a means of defending ourselves from such players. Scassa glanced at that corner of the room. Several weapons he'd found yesterday were lying on the floor. However, Scassa already had the only gun on his person, leaving only an assortment of blades. But when Ray spotted one of them, her face changed completely.
あれは日本刀ですか？
Is that a Japanese sword?
そうだけど
I believe so, but what of it?
使っていないのなら頂戴してもいいですか？
If you're not going to use it, may I have it?
扱えるの？
Can you use it?
ええ、腕には覚えがあります。
Yes, my hands are quite familiar with those.
まあいいけど。
Sure, go ahead. Scassa and Ray stood up and walked over to the sword. Ray's eyes didn't leave the sword for even a single second. Scassa handed over the Ray without another word, knowing how unusually attached he seemed to it.
はい、どうぞ。
Here you go.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
いえいえ。
You're quite welcome. And after that textbook exchange, Ray slowly unsheathed the sword. She looked over the blade, dully glistening silver.
私の家は古くから剣術道場を生りとしてきました。
My family has run a My family has run a swordsmanship dojo since ancient times. Is that right?
私も幼い頃から師である父に剣を学び、日々の鍛錬に励んできたんです。
My father has trained me in the ways of the sword since I was a child, and I strive to practice every day.
だから刀を持つと自然と心が静まります。
So having a sword in my hands calms me down.
そう。
I see.
え
Yes.
え。ところで司、あなたに一つ伺いたいことがあります。
Incidentally, I have a question for you, Scassa. All of a sudden, the drawn sword was pointed straight at Scassa's neck. At that moment, the air in the room completely froze over.
これは何の真似だい？
Whatever do you think you're doing?
あなたはリピーターですか？
Are you a repeater?
リピーター？何それ？
A repeater? What's that?
とぼけても無駄です。
Cease your senseless charade.
私の目から見て、司はあまりにもゲームに慣れすぎている。
You have displayed far too much familiarity with this game.
それは前回のゲームから静観したことのある リピーターだからなのではありませんか？
Is that not because you are a repeater, one that survived the past game? Ray scrutinized Scassa with a sharp glare, determined to make him divulge his true intentions. However, Scassa just stared Ray right back in the eye, not even flinching for a second.
誓って言うけど、僕がこのゲームに参加したのはこれが初めてだ。
I swear this is the first time I've ever participated in this game.
僕は与えられた情報の中から推測できるあらゆる可能性に対し生存方法を模索しているだけだよ。
All I'm doing is exploring ways to survive based on the possibilities I've been able to surmise from the information I've garnered.
消せません。では、その落ち着きようは何なのですか？
That does not make sense. If you speak the truth, how can you be so calm?
刀を突きつけられているのに眉一つ動かさないなんて一般人では考えられません。
I cannot find myself to believe an ordinary person wouldn't even raise an eyebrow when there's a sword in their face.
それを言うならレイ、君の立ち振る舞いだってひどく冷静なものに見えるけど。
I could say the same for you. You seem rather calm given the situation.
僕は他のプレイヤーにも何人か会ったけど、みんなが現状に困惑していた。
I've met several other players, but all of them were baffled by our current straits.
当然だろうね。こんな理不尽なゲームに強制的に参加させられて、素直に状況を受け入れられるはずもない。
It's hardly a surprise. No one that should be capable of accepting being forced into an unjust game like this as though we're nothing.
つまり他のプレイヤーとの違いは覚悟の差なんだ。いち早く状況に適応してこのゲームを攻略しようとしている僕とのね。
In other words, what separates me apart from the other players is a matter of resolve. I'm trying to adjust to this situation as quickly as possible so I may survive this game.
そしてレイ、それは君も同じだ。
And that goes for you too.
君は何か目的があってゲームに参加しているようだね。だから行動や発言に迷いがない。
It would seem you have some reason for participating in this game. That is why you neither speak nor act with reserve.
もっとも僕から見たら君はひどく間が抜けているように思えるけど。
But from my perspective, you look rather foolish.
余計なお世話です。
Mind your own business. However, despite her words, Ray sheathed her sword with the picturesque handling of an expert. Her skill with the sword truly was genuine.
一応の理解を得たと解釈していいのかな。
Shall I take that as a sign you've caught on?
勘違いしないでください。司への疑いが晴れたわけではありません。
Do not be mistaken. It does not mean you are free from suspicion.
ですが、あなたがリピーターであるという確たる証拠も得られませんでした。
But I did not gain any decisive proof that you're a repeater either.
刀で脅せば真相を吐いてくれると思ったのですが。
I figured that if I threatened you with a sword, you'd confess the truth, though.
まったく強引なやり方だね。
Sheesh, you're so pushy.
それでまさか話してくれないとは言わないよね。
Anyway, you're not going to ignore the elephant in the room, are you?
レイ、君はなんでリピーターを探しているの？そしてそんな情報をどこで手に入れたの？
When I say you're looking for a repeater, Ray, where did you find out about them?
私が探している相手は弟の仇なんです。
I'm looking for the person who killed my brother. Is that right?
1年前に弟が突然失踪しました。
1 year ago, my brother suddenly vanished.
無断で外泊なんて絶対にしない生真面目な弟だったんです。
He was a sincere person. He never would have spent the night away without telling us first.
すぐに警察にも捜索願いを出して、私も両親も心当たりは全て探しました。
My parents and I filed a missing persons report to the police right away and looked for all the clues we could find.
でも結局手がかり一つつかめなかった。
But in the end, we couldn't find a single hint.
弟が帰ってきたのは失踪から1ヶ月後のことです。
My brother came back. A month had already passed.
見つかったのは自殺の名所として名高い県境の海岸でした。 観光客が偶然発見したそうです。
A tourist supposedly found him by chance on a beach famed for suicides on the edge of the prefectural border.
それじゃあ弟さんは
Then your brother was...
え
Yes.
え、警察は弟の死を自殺だって決めつけました。でも私は信じなかった。
The police ruled my brother's death a suicide, but I didn't believe it.
真相をつかもうと私なりに色々と調べたんです。でも何もわからなくて。
Determined to discover the truth, I did some digging of my own here and there, but I wasn't able to find out anything.
そんな時でした。弟の死の真相を知っているという人物から連絡があったんです。
It was at that time I was contacted by a person claiming to know the truth of my brother's death.
そして私は弟がゲームに参加させられて殺されたこと、弟の仇が今回のゲームに参加していることを知ったんです。
I learned from them that my brother had been forced to participate in the game and killed, and his killer would be participating in this game.
つまりレイは自分の意思でゲームに参加したってことだね。
Meaning you participate in this game by your own free will, yes?
はい。
Yes.
弟さんについて話を聞いた人物ってどんな人だったの？
What sort of person was the source of yours?
その人の名前やどんな素性の人物かは一切知らされてないんです。それが弟の情報を得るための条件でしたし。
I don't know a thing about them, not even their name or identity. That was the condition for learning the truth about my brother's death.
やり取りも電話越しで直接の面識はありません。
We only spoke by phone. We've never met face to face.
やっぱりそのあたりは運営も抜かりないね。
I knew the administrators wouldn't let something like that slip.
あとここって日本のどのあたりか見当つくかな？
One more thing. Do you have any idea where in Japan we are?
ここに来るときは眠らされていたので道のりは全く。
No. I was put to sleep before they took me here, so I don't know where we ended up.
そこは僕らと同じなんだ。なるほどね。
I see. Then you're the same as us.
話してくれてありがとう。今の話で少しだけ運営の連中の考えが分かった気がするよ。
Thank you for telling me all that. I feel I've gotten a better grasp of the administrators' mindsets.
それに僕ら14人のプレイヤーの中にそのリピーターってやつが紛れ込んでいることもね。
And now I know a repeater's been slipped in amongst the 14 of us. If we came into contact with a repeater, Scassa would all but certainly obtain most of the information regarding the game. If they respond favorably to negotiations first, of course.
さてと、これで当面の行動の指針が決まったかな。
Now then, I suppose we should set some guidelines for our current course of action.
例のクリア条件を達成するためにジョーカーの所有者を見つける。同時に例の弟さんの仇も探してみよう。
To fulfill your clear condition, you need to locate the owner of the Joker PDA. We'll also look for your brother's killer at the same time.
あとは僕がクリアするために必要な人数を揃えればいい。
Also, I'll need more people to clear my condition.
できれば初音に協力してもらえるのが一番なんだけどね。
It would be ideal if Hatsune would cooperate with me, but...
ま、それは気長に待つさ。
Well, we'll just have to be patient then.
それじゃあ話の続き。どこまで話したっけ？
Then let's get back on topic. Where was I?
好戦的なプレイヤーへの対抗策についてです。
You were talking about dealing with belligerent players.
ああ、そうそう。その話だけど。この山小屋に続く山道にはいくつか罠を仕掛けてあるんだ。
Ah, yes, right. Regarding that, there are several traps set up on the mountain trail leading to this cabin.
私がかかったやつですね。
Like the one that caught me?
そう。直接的な攻撃をするものはないけど、足止めには十分だと思うよ。
Correct. While it doesn't constitute a direct attack, it should serve to slow such players down.
まあ、打ちどころが悪ければ骨くらいは折れるかもしれないけどね。
Though I guess they could end up with some broken bones if they land at a bad angle.
駆除士に精神的なダメージを少なからず与える危険もあるようですが。
There's also the risk it'll deal severe mental trauma to young women.
だからそれは謝ったじゃない。別に恋じゃなかったんだって。
I already said I was sorry, didn't I? It wasn't like I did on purpose.
今はとりあえずその言葉を信じましょう。
I'll trust you on that for now.
ですが、私や初音にちょっとでもそれらしい素振りを見せたら迷わず切って捨てます。
But if you ever display any signs of such behavior to me or Hatsune, I won't hesitate to cut you down.
あ、わかった。その時はそうしてくれて構わないよ。
Yeah, I know. If I ever do, go ahead, by all means.
で結局何が言いたいかっていうと、この山小屋を起点にすれば守りは盤石だってこと。
Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that this cabin is well defended. It'll make an ideal base.
あとはもう何人か仲間が増やせれば戦力は完璧なんだけど。
If we gather more allies, our fighting potential will also be perfect.
戦闘なら私がいれば大丈夫ですよ。
If it comes to a fight, you'll be safe with me.
あ、そこは頼りにしてるよ。
Yes, I'll be counting on you.
でも二人一組で動くことを考えるとやっぱりもう一人欲しいかな。
But I don't think a group of 2 will be sufficient. That's why I want one more person.
そこは司の好きにすればいいと思います。
I'll leave that part up to you. Do as you will.
私としては敵討ちさえできれば。
All that matters is I get my revenge. But just as before Ray could finish,
今のは
was that?
ああ、なる子だね。誰か来たんだ。
Yes, a noisemaker. Someone's coming. The noisemaker in question was located approximately 100 meters away from the cabin. It was in a different direction from the traps that snared Ray and Hatsune. It seemed that whoever was headed their way had noticed the traps.
迎え撃つ準備が必要かな。
I wonder, will it be necessary to set up an ambush?
私が行きましょうか。
Shall I go?
いや、なるべく穏便に済ませたいから手は出さないで隠れていてくれ。
No, I'd like to resolve this peacefully if possible. Just keep yourself hidden. Don't hurt them.
手を貸してほしいときは合図を送るよ。
I'll give you a signal if I need any help.
了解です。
Roger.
初音は留守番を頼むよ。
Hatsune, I'm counting on you to watch the place. Okay. Hatsune gave a light nod. After seeing that, Tsukasa opened the door of the cabin, accompanied by his new pawn, Ray. Okay, I think this will make a good stopping point, so yeah. Bunch of new developments, more alliances being formed, more strategies being formulated. They're all gearing up for what's going to lie ahead. So we'll cover that next time. Until then, I'll see you all then.